Hello everyone and welcome to How-FixIT. If your DJI RC2 remote controller has joystick drift, a control stick that does not return correctly to the center, dead zones, uneven or stiff movement, incorrect control response, or a joystick calibration problem that cannot be fixed by recalibration, the joystick module may need to be replaced. In this video, I'll show you how to open the remote controller, remove and replace the joystick modules, reassemble the controller step by step, and then perform a complete control stick calibration to make sure the new joysticks are centered and responding correctly. For this repair, you will need a precision screwdriver set. You will also need plastic pry tools to open the controller housing safely and a pair of tweezers. I've included links to the tools and replacement parts in the video description below. I also recommend using a magnetic mat to organize all screws and small parts during the repair. The DJI RC2 uses many small screws of different sizes, and keeping each screw in the correct location will make reassembly much easier. A magnetic mat also helps keep small metal parts in place and reduces the risk of losing screws or installing them in the wrong locations. So, let's get started. Before you begin disassembling the controller, remove both control sticks. If they are stored in the rear storage area, remove them from the storage slots. Next, remove the two screws from the bottom of the remote controller. The screws are located in the recessed accessory mounting area. Use the 1.0mm Phillips screwdriver to remove these two screws. The next two screws are hidden behind the control stick storage slot. Using a plastic spudger or tweezers, carefully remove the rubber stick holder. This part is held in place with double-sided adhesive. If necessary, you can warm the area slightly with a hair dryer to soften the adhesive and make removal easier. Remove the two hidden screws underneath using a 1.5mm hex screwdriver. After removing the screws, you can begin opening the controller housing. I recommend creating the first gap at the bottom of the controller near the USB-C charging port. Insert a thin plastic pry tool into the gap and carefully release the plastic clips around the perimeter. Work slowly around the edges of the controller. Do not force the housing apart, as this may damage the plastic clips or the internal cable connecting the rear cover. Once the housing clips are released, do not separate the two halves completely. First, carefully disconnect the rear cover cable from the main board. Once the cable is disconnected, you can safely separate the controller housing. The rear cover assembly contains the gimbal dial, camera control dial, and the C1 and C2 buttons. Set the rear cover aside and continue working with the front housing. The DJI RC2 uses two internal 18650 lithium-ion battery cells. First, disconnect both battery connectors from the main board. I recommend using a plastic tool around the battery connectors. If you use metal tweezers, be careful not to bridge the contacts, as this could cause a short circuit. Remove the four screws securing the joystick module, disconnect the cable, and remove the module from the case. The joystick module may need to be replaced if a control stick has drift, does not return correctly to the center, moves unevenly, feels loose or mechanically damaged, or no longer responds properly to movement. Joystick problems can also appear after a drop or impact if the internal mechanism, sensor, or stick shaft has been damaged. I've included a link to a replacement joystick module in the video description below. After replacing a joystick module, make sure to calibrate the control sticks in DJI Fly before using the controller. The right module is disassembled in a similar way. Unscrew 4 screws and disconnect the cable from the board. The left and right joystick modules are different, so make sure you keep track of which module belongs to each side. If you are replacing a joystick module, order the correct replacement specifically for the left or right side. Let's move to install the new joystick modules. Remember that the left and right joystick modules are different, so make sure each module is installed on the correct side. Position the left joystick module in the housing, reconnect its cable, and secure the module with the 4 screws. Install the right joystick module in the same way. Reconnect the cable and secure the module with the 4 screws. Reconnect the battery connectors to the main board. Before reinstalling the rear cover, make sure none of the cables interfere with the plastic clips or other parts of the housing. A trapped cable can prevent the case from closing and may damage the cable. Reconnect the rear cover cable to the main board, then align both halves of the controller housing and carefully press around the perimeter until all of the clips snap back into place. Reinstall the 2 hex screws behind the control stick storage slot, then reinstall the rubber stick holder. Finally, reinstall the 2 Phillips screws at the bottom of the controller. Now that the controller is fully assembled, install both control sticks and power on the remote controller. For the calibration process, the drone does not need to be connected. Keep the aircraft powered off while calibrating the remote controller. From the DJI Fly home screen, tap Connect to Aircraft, then enter Camera View. In Camera View, tap the 3 dots in the upper right corner to open Settings. Select Control, then scroll down and open RC Calibration. Start the calibration and follow the on-screen instructions. Move both control sticks through their full range of motion in every direction, including the corners, and then allow them to return naturally to the center position. During the calibration process, you will also need to rotate both control dials through their full range of motion as instructed on the screen. If the calibration completes successfully and both joysticks respond correctly, the replacement joystick modules are installed and calibrated properly. If you found this guide helpful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more tech tips and guides. Visit our website for more insights and do-it-yourself guides. Remember, every tech challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. Thanks for watching How-FixIT, and we'll see you in the next one.